Back on the SportsMax zone, and the UEFA Champions League quarter-final round ended earlier on Wednesday with the final two second-leg matches at Anfield in England. Liverpool, with a 3-1 aggregate lead, welcomed Portugal's Benfica. Let's see what happened there.
It was Matip and Canate. Deep, Canate's header! 1-0 Liverpool! Who knows? As Everton slips it through, and what a good equaliser! Offside won't count. Darwin Nunez denied by the flag. The only game they haven't won this season, the Champions League. It's bounced kindly here for Benfica, and that's a drilled equaliser. Liverpool looked for a flag that didn't come. Keita just slipped away from Diaz. Big chance, the goalkeeper didn't grasp it. Away by Vertonghen. And it's surely offside. Firmino, is it? Is the goal given? It is at the moment, and Liverpool are 2-1 up. Whipped away from goal. Brilliant free kick. Super delivery, Firmino. Liverpool 3, Benfica 1, 6-2 on aggregate. A goal of real class. Now they've got a runner in here. Jeremchuk draws Alisson, goes round him, tucks in a finish. Golden age for Liverpool goals. He looked back on fondly. But here come Benfica again. Joe Mario, the touch was too heavy. And it's Darwin Nunez who equalises on the night. Starting to make it 22 years of age. And a couple struck off. Liverpool have one struck off. But they got the goals that mattered. In the end, they had to share the spoils tonight.
Yeah, 3-3 the final score, 6-4 on aggregate. And the other match, the English champions Manchester City, with a 1-0 aggregate lead, travelled to the Metropolitano Stadium to take on Spanish champions Atletico Madrid. Here's what happened. Oh, so the highlight's not ready for that one yet. But
because it's too hot. Too hot for the television.
Yeah, there was a lot of action towards the end there. For the most part, the game did not excite, but things got really antsy. Towards the back end of the game.
Antsy and vicious, and what I have to say is the Atletico Madrid players should feel very ashamed. It's one thing to go on and understand that you're not winning a match, you know, things aren't going in your favor. And what I will say is, at a particular point in the match, Atletico Madrid, they looked very dominant. You know, it was only a matter of them actually, you know, securing a goal lance to bring back their confidence. However, you know, they let themselves, you know, get the better of themselves. They lost their cool, and of course, things didn't work out.
Yeah, well, let's go over to Anfield now to check in on Simon Evans, who was watching the match there with Liverpool and Benfica. A high-scoring fixture, Simon, and who would have thought that this one would end up 6-4 on aggregate? How surprising was that?
Yeah, it was a surprise that Liverpool conceded 3 at home. You don't really expect that from them at all, but credit to Benfica, really. They came here with a lot of belief, and even when they went that goal down, they continued to push forward right to the end. I mean, 2 late goals kind of distorts the scoreline a little bit, but a lot of credit for Benfica, but Liverpool through relatively comfortably with a little scare at the end.
Yeah, Firmino getting a couple of goals and showing himself that he knows how to rise to the occasion when he's needed.
Yes, he's become slightly to the fringes of Liverpool. He hasn't been the main man. Jota really sort of taken his spot in the first choice Liverpool team of late. But he showed his quality again. He's a good finisher and a player, you know, clever, canny sort of footballer. And Liverpool showing the strength and depth of their squad tonight. They made 7 changes for this game, and Firmino coming in was one of them. And Jurgen Klopp will be pleased that paid off.
Yes, Simon, I think it's worth spending some time talking about Benfica and their fight back, you know, despite knowing that Liverpool had such a massive lead coming into this match.
Yeah, I think, you know, it says everything about Benfica's performance. Their supporters in there stayed for 20-25 minutes after the final whistle, singing until the team came back out for a second time to greet them again. They were really appreciative of that performance. And Liverpool fans also applauding Benfica off the field at the end of that game. They did play like a team who, you know, they knew it was going to be tough, but there's ways of losing a game in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and I think Benfica left with their heads held high.
Yeah, you mentioned the 7 changes, Sadio Mane and Mo Salah starting on the bench, of course. Do you get the sense, based on these 7 changes, that, you know, Jurgen Klopp, in the back of his mind, is actually thinking about the quadruple, that historical quadruple?
Absolutely. You know, on Saturday they've got the FA Cup semi-final against Manchester City again. Obviously they played them just on Sunday as well, so I think Klopp decided to gamble a little bit by resting so many players for a Champions League quarter-final. That's something that would have been unthinkable a few years ago, but he got away with it, really.
Yeah, Simon, for the second day in a row, we get a sharp reminder that a 2-goal advantage in a return match in UEFA Champions League football may not necessarily be as handsome as the onlookers would have it.
No, it's an unbelievable tournament, isn't it, really? It's a fantastic competition where things can change so quickly. I mean, that Chelsea game last night was an insane game of football. And there was just a little hint at the end of this one, even though they've ended up 2 goals short. There was just a little hint that maybe Benfica could do something silly. In fact, right at the start, you know, with the disallowed goal they had and then the goal, you know, they looked like a team that could perhaps pull off an upset. But in the end, Liverpool just a little bit too much for them. But Champions League football, we get entertained. It delivers pretty much every week, doesn't it?
Yeah, a lot of analysis of the domestic league in England is flavoured, Simon, by what happens in the Champions League, because the battle between Liverpool and Manchester City for the domestic honours in England has to happen with them concurrently battling in a Champions League programme. Is there anything you saw from Liverpool tonight that gives you the feeling that they can handle both?
Yes, I think the fact that they were able to rotate their team, use the full depth of their squad, showed that even if they get injuries or even if the fixtures pile up, as they will do towards the end of the season, Liverpool do have what it takes to beat teams. And they've come in this week, you know, this was a game they expected to get through. But they've played Manchester City on Sunday, got a draw there and kept the title race very much alive. So they are firing on all fronts, and they look like a side that knows how to win. There's no fear in the way Liverpool play.
Yeah, this result here sets up a meeting as well for Villarreal clash in the semis. We remember their Europa League semi-final clash 2015-2016 round about there. How do you think Unai Emery will feel about what he saw today from Liverpool?
I think he'll know, you know, he's going to get a tough game, whatever he got in the semi-finals of the Champions League, wasn't he? And, you know, but he'll look at that and see some of the way that Benfica were able to open up opportunities. No Virgil van Dijk playing tonight, of course, which makes a massive difference. But he'll look at that and see some hope that his Villarreal side might be able to carve something out. They play a similar way to how Benfica played tonight, looking to really hit on the counter. And it should be an interesting game because Villarreal, as we've seen, you know, they've knocked out Bayern Munich to get here. There's certainly no pushovers. Yeah,
well, we're leaving you now, Simon, but obviously you were focusing on your game. We're going to toss to the highlights of Man City Atletico Madrid now. But before you leave us, are you surprised there were no goals in that match?
Yes, I am, really, because you would have thought, you know, Manchester City don't fail to score very often at all. I don't know what the stat is, but it's probably a minute percentage of games where they failed to score. So, but Atletico Madrid's defence is famed and, you know, didn't help them, though, ultimately in the end, did it?
Yeah, well, I guess you can look at the replay sometime later on tonight, Simon. Thanks for talking to us.
All the best. Cheers.
Yeah, Simon Evans there, live from Anfield on that Liverpool fixture this afternoon, struggling in a manner of speaking, in a 3-3 draw with Benfica, but getting through to the semis 6-4 on aggregate. Well, there was the Manchester City battle with Atletico Madrid that also shared the spotlight this afternoon in UEFA Champions League football. And let's go to those highlights now.
Now, Gundogan gone for it, and Oblak knew it was going wide. In from De Bruyne and headed over the top by John Stones. Laporte looks to free João Cancelo. Foden deflected to De Bruyne, and it's a really good block by Reinildo. Mahrez, Walker In round the back to pull it across. Phil Foden, Gundogan off the post. Next one blocked by Felipe. And De Bruyne. Savage. Llorente. Good, really good cross. João Cancelo opts not to steer it back to Ederson. Llorente. João Felix to Griezmann. Llorente gets it. Llorente teed up the shot. Llorente tries to get back at him. He can't foul him. Foden has to take the wide route. Felipe is across, and the second kick was a bit of a swipe from Felipe on Foden. He won the ball, he put it out, no problem there. The second bit, though, was a problem, and Zinchenko's having to get involved. Now, if this has been seen as we saw it, Felipe's got to go.
Well, he's already been booked as well.
And now it is all off in the corner. Savic has lost his head. Ake is being held away. Zinchenko had spotted it straight away. He saw the second kick at Foden. Here. I really can't, unless we've misread it in the first place, but I don't think so. He won the ball, he got to the tackle first, but he had a follow-up swing that was a deliberate kick out at an opponent.
And remember, he should have been given a yellow card early on in the game for his challenge on Phil Foden. He's lost the plot here, Felipe. Don't defend it well, Man City. Ake gets enough on it, then he almost barges into Correa. Then when it comes to him again, he gets away and gets his shot in. But they've done enough, just about, Manchester City.
No goals at the Wanda Metropolitano tonight, but Manchester City are celebrating this as though it's one of their greatest successes ever.
Yeah, I'm trying here, Mariah, to figure out what Felipe would have been complaining about and what he was so angry about, because that was a violent lash out at Foden, and there is no question that was a red card.
No, without a doubt, and even when he was sent off, he was still complaining. I think he just lost it in the moment, and there was nothing that anybody could have done to stop him, because in his mind he was right. So he felt as if, you know, he was being treated unfairly. Didn't you see him arguing with the ref?
No, I don't understand what his argument was about, because he lashed out at Foden in a sort of a delayed reaction. The ball had gone and he swiped and kicked him. So there was no question there that would have been a red card. Your thoughts overall on the game, though, because I heard you at your desk grumbling and mumbling constantly about De Bruyne disappointing you and Man City missing chances.
Yeah, Man City missed a lot of chances. There was one with Ilkay Gundogan as well, Lance. You know, a couple of chances that could have just made the game a bit easier. But, I mean, Atletico Madrid, as much as they showed potential, they couldn't really close out any of the goals as well. So I would say Manchester City got away by the skin of their teeth, thankfully, for that one goal, because for the majority of the game, Atletico Madrid looked really, really good.
Yeah, well, they have the capacity to be a stifling kind of team, Atletico Madrid, to not be scored against, but they needed a goal today to get themselves a chance of making the last four. That didn't quite happen actually. So following the conclusion of the quarterfinal round, this is how the semi-final pairings will set up. Manchester City against Real Madrid and Liverpool against Villarreal, semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League. And I just tossed to Simon just now the mouth-watering clash between Liverpool and Villarreal. You're a Manchester City fan, so you may have something to say about your Real Madrid assignment.
Well, it's going to be a very tough assignment, and based on how we played today, it appears even tougher than before. I know Real Madrid, Karim Benzema flying very, very high lands. A lot, you know, there's chemistry within the Real Madrid team. There's confidence. There's everything that they need to know in their hearts that they can get the job done. nobody really fares Manchester City like they would have fared them previously. I get that sense among the opponents. Real Madrid actually very, very superior in the match. And I'm a bit nervous to face Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I feel like it's do or die.
Yeah. Well, you should be. We had a discussion earlier on this week about the quality of Liverpool and Manchester City, and a sentiment coming out of, well, Britain mostly. That's where I hear the talk, that Liverpool and Man City are unquestionably the best club teams in the world at the moment. Now, I know that their rivalry and the sort of energy that they are giving off for the domestic battle is enthralling, and I know they are top teams. But Real Madrid has know-how when it comes to UEFA Champions League football. Manchester City has never won it before. So I'm not quite sure that people should feel that it's a foregone conclusion that Liverpool and Manchester City will be the two teams going in. Villarreal has already knocked out Bayern Munich and Juventus.
Exactly.
So we know that they can be giant killers themselves. So good semi-finals in the UEFA Champions League coming up. I would accept that Manchester City and Liverpool could be considered favourites, but football is played on the field, and we'll see what happens there. Now, the European Continental Club football will be continuing on Thursday with the second legs of the Europa League quarter-finals. These are the fixtures. Atalanta at home to RB Leipzig. That match locked at 1-1. There's 1-1 between Eintracht Frankfurt and Barcelona as well. 1-1 between Lyon and West Ham. And Braga will be travelling to Rangers with a 1-0 advantage. Not much between these sides here. The Rangers will be at home trying to reverse the result they had against Braga in their other game. And we've been speaking in recent weeks about Barcelona looking to be favourites for the Europa League. But again, football is played on the field, and Barcelona, based on the quality of opposition they're facing in the Europa League, should be able to go all the way in this championship. But they've got to deliver it and not just talk about it.
Yeah, you can't afford to be inconsistent. And what we notice among some of the teams as of lately, you know, they're good when they're up against the big teams, but sometimes when they come up against the minor teams that you wouldn't really consider a threat, somehow, you know, something goes wrong and they lose. So Barcelona would definitely need to get themselves in order, ensure that their players are fit. You know, they don't take their opponents for they don't take them lightly, and of course they're able to overcome them, get the job done, because the Barca fans would definitely need something to smile about.
Yeah, just about 4 minutes to the top of the hour. We have a lot more football to talk about on the SportsMax Zone. We go to break, and we'll be back in a moment.
Stay with SportsMax on YouTube and follow us on all social pages for updates, news and entertainment.